So everybody, welcome back. So this video is about all the Kickstarter and GameFound project. I'm covering some of them. Obviously not all of them because there are other content providers that covers everything else. Just those that I'm more interested in, and actually in particular those that I'm going to back, or certain projects that I will not be backing. I'll just briefly mention them. So let's start. So the first one on GameFound is Tamashii, Chronicles of Accent. This has actually changed names twice. So first, it was actually called Gaijin. Gaijin is in Japanese. It just means that outsider. So which actually outsider was the second name they've chosen, and they also changed it to Tamashii in the end. I think this is probably likely due to the fact that the word Gaijin is kind of a negative annotation in Japanese. It's more, instead of being outsider, it just means that you're not one of us, kind of, So maybe in that sense, not really such a good name, and they might probably have to change it. So Tamashii in the end actually means that it's spirit of soul or something like that. So so you have like samurai spirit, that's Tamashii kind of thing. Anyway, this game is a cyberpunk game. As you can see, the settings is mainly in the purple and pink, in a very futuristic kind of settings. Look at actually I really like this picture. Like the unicorn caps and stuff. That's her, and you can see that all the. So far, I think this is slightly renders, but the Awakened Realms, I have confidence in their miniatures. Their miniatures are good, but although for Awakened Realms likes games, the good thing about it is that you don't really need to get all the miniatures. So in this case, let's talk about the pledge right away. So we are looking at 102 euros for the cyber pledge, and 66 for the core pledge. The difference, just the miniatures. So that's like almost a 40 euros difference for miniatures. I'm going for standees, as I've always mentioned, compared to having a game with miniatures, color miniatures, yes, that's the way to go for me. But if not, comparing to gray miniatures and colorful standees, I'll go for colorful standees. And like they probably like unlock some of the miniatures and stuff. So I just want to say that a lot of this probably works as standees because like it's flat and everything. So this is fine. But when it comes to miniatures, having this joints and this ridiculous joint is just really going to be very difficult to make miniatures. I've tried 3D printing, and I know it's different materials, but 3D printings even mine like shatter and broke. Look at threads. I don't think you can do that in miniatures. And how to stand this up? Probably you need another leg or something like that. So this, I'm sure that it works perfectly as standees. It's just that miniatures probably they have to do more work for it. As well as the last one, look at the scarf, the way this is. They might be able to pull it off, but even like the thin legs, and the stuff like that, and this blade, I think this blade will probably break. So, yeah, I guess we just have to see how the miniatures turns out. But Awakened Realms, I guess they do what they do best. And besides that, don't just think about the pledge. There's some place where you can spend more money. So if you're not one of the early birds, the Hour Man is going to cost you another €5. But they have announced an add-on. This is the Katie's Diary, which is actually I think the cat girl with a cat robot. Pretty much reminds you of that the futuristic spider girl in the Spider-Verse. Similar concept. And this really looks fantastic, and it's only like €11. Okay, not say it's fantastically cheap, but as an add-on, I don't mind. So this is a prequel to the story. It happens before the main story plot goes. And if you want a miniatures, there's also a miniature version. The miniature version comes with this awesome pixelated cat robot, with hers on the thing. So I mean, it's all up to you. So depending on which choice you want. So for Awakened Realms, the games, I have never lost any money on their games before. I've actually got them, played them, and still is able to sell them either for everything that I paid for, or even over what I paid for. So I guess in terms of value, it's always there, and their products usually is pretty good, high quality. And as you can see, even the tokens and everything has a lot of effort. Look at all the tiles with all the schemes of the future. The dark city, neon lights and stuff. Reminds you of those like Blade Runners. Actually this game has a lot of theme from Altered Carbon. Like where people change sleeve, and then perform actions and stuff. Yeah, and it's really a very theme that actually I can resonate with, and look at the products, the all the tokens and all these are really really nice. I really some of them from other games, like yeah. So I'm pretty happy that I'm backing this. It's not very expensive. It's close to maybe 100 USD, so or maybe less because it's just euro, right? Yeah. So it's not causing me an arm and leg. And but remember this price point. There'll be a lot of other games that claim this and that, and then when it comes down to a price point, you always try to benchmark it against some other options you have, such as Tamashii here, which is only like 66 euro if you're not getting any add-ons. Okay, so let's go back to other game founds projects. Oh, by the way, if you're not aware, the Awakened Realms actually is going to launch a reprint for the Great War. This is another KV game. I think it's a co-op strategy game, and I think it's a rather big game. And I've been seeing the price for almost like $300-400 and above. So I would expect it's a very very big game. The reprint, I'm not sure how much it will cost. I'm not sure if they add anything to it, but because GameFound owned by Awakened Realms, I don't think GameFound has this rule that you need to throw in some comics or soundtrack, something like that, in order to relaunch a campaign altogether. So I guess they could actually just wholesale resell everything since they already have the mold and everything. Well, we shall see. Anyway, this is an upcoming project. It's not starting yet. Oath, I'm not interested. Like I mentioned before. Nightmare Cathedral, I am interested. I actually followed this, but I have actually not backed this project because so there's a few things that actually I didn't. First thing is that it's pretty expensive. Okay, so that's one of the price point, and the board looks simplistic. I mean, it's just a lot of blacks, followed by some miniatures of and stuff like that, and then so what else is added? If you can see that there's a lot of the buildings are actually like built by miniatures. So this is quite miniature heavy game, despite that the board is not fantastically big. And you can see the center. There's this cathedral, and the miniatures are really nice. They are gothic looking, horror looking. All the things that comes from your nightmare. It looks fantastic. But basically you're buying all the miniatures. So it's 90 euros dollars. Just for the pledge, and that's like I would say, compared to 66 for Tamashii, this is like, another $33 euros more. So this is one of the reasons I probably will not be backing it. I don't need to go further. And now let's switch over to Kickstarter. So Kickstarter, one of the first project that I'm still backing is this is Malhya, Lands of Legend. This game is quite interesting. It has been already in development for about 6 years. The price point is slightly higher. It's about 140 euros. But it's actually, the narrative is quite strong in this game. As you can see that in the quest book, there's a lot of choices, and when you take certain choice, you go to the different passage and stuff like that. So it's kind of like those choose your adventures kind of game. And there's actually a lot of events, and it's influenced by the weather, and the day and night actually have difference. So it's quite interesting, and as you can see, it's kind of a dungeon crawl with character building, where you have character boards, and there's some miniatures here. I'm not too sure if there's a lot of miniatures, but I think the miniatures quite a lot. And then we have actually scoring sheets and stuff like that. So it's almost like RPG itself, but all packed into one board game. And then the miniatures looks pretty okay. I think there's 5 now already. I think maybe 4. Yeah, I think there's some additional unlocks, and there's like monsters and stuff. So the price point is a bit higher. I'm still quite on the fence, but the miniatures look good. 140 euros is arguably more expensive than some of the other games. But look at the number of miniatures you get. There's quite a lot of miniatures, in fact. But like I say, if I can choose, I'll prefer standees. The other cards are not really impressive. Like all these cards are a bit dull. There's a lot of white areas, and same with this. But there are some cards that look slightly better. And these are like the better ones. So I'm really more in for the narrative itself. Hopeful that this will be a good game, a good dungeon crawl. But then the question I will have to ask myself is, do I need another dungeon crawl And there's like number of maps. I think it's only 12 only of them. I think if I'm not wrong. Uh, no, there's 38 tiles. So there's just quite a lot. So 38, is obviously more than enough for most of the games. And I think it will offer a lot of maybe over 100 hours of gameplay. So I think for 140 euros, this sounds like it's okay. I'm keeping my pledge for now. So likely I will end up pledging this. It seems to be. And it seems like there's actually not a lot of people pledging it. So I guess maybe we won't really like see this in the second-hand market due to that. Yeah, I really can't see the figures right now here. But look at all the stretch goal unlocked, and there's still more coming. So like I said, there's new heroes also. So the add-ons, I can safely skip it. Sleeve, I could always get it on my own. Dice, the dice tray, I already have some, so I don't need. I probably don't need additional dice. So, but this has a caveat that it better give me enough dice. Like I don't want to have to reroll one dice 4 times. When it's occasionally you need 4 or 5 of those dice. I mean, then that would be quite unfair. And like it really spoils the gameplay. So I really hope that that's not the case. But anyway, so this is Malhya. So I hope I pronounced it correctly because I really have no idea. But this is actually a French production, and I think it's good to have a different take once in a while of different type of games. So 3 more days on this. So on Kickstarter, there's actually relatively more projects, but not necessarily more than I'm backing. So far you've seen I'm backing one on GameFound. So this is the only one I'm backing on Kickstarter so far. Let's look at what else are there available that I want to talk about. There's actually quite a few actually, but it's like I don't know how these magic things works. This almost magically never lists the right things for me. So let me try and find how do I see all the new projects. I wish there was one that like says show me all the projects or something like that. But if I have to end up going through this, I probably have to script my future ones so that I give you all the right stuff. And I don't know why they are recommending stuff that I'm not even interested. I mean, I'm mainly a board game guy, but did I log in? I'm sure I did. Yeah, I did. So that's strange because it's not really like giving me all the stuff that I'm interested in. Okay, but anyway, let me just try and find out what else I'm interested in, and then we will actually go through some of them. Ryozen, I'm not really interested in. I've seen this a few times. The board with all the circles and the castle in the center. This is not really the type of game that I'm really interested into. But I think they're doing well. So yeah. So this is one I want to talk about. So this is one. Is Jurassic World Ice Nebule. Then it's actually quite interesting. Like the Jurassic World thing has always been something that is on my list that I like. As you can see, the box all looks pretty awesome and stuff. And and there's actually 12 adventures. Okay, so what's the problem? Why I'm not backing this yet? Okay, so there's only 12 adventures because this is a legacy game. So the problem is that you see it says the legacy of Ice Nebule. So it's like when you talk about legacy, it means that you either have to put sticker on somewhere, destroy some games part, or maybe not destroy, but it's like you have influence on like a campaign on a subsequent scenarios and stuff. So after playing through 12 of them, which actually one of them is a tutorial, I don't think I'm going to replay the game. That means effectively these games have 12 plays for me. Usually that's the case, and look at the price point. The price point is $120. That is effectively like $10 per game, which is I won't say really that good or that bad. It's roughly about that. But what really turns me off is that the board looks ugly. I'm sorry, but I think for me it has a lot to do with arts, and I think I don't like the look of it, especially a whole patch of green with this blue, which is like greenish blue cyan. And the cards, it's just simple words with numbers in it. This looks really ugly. This reminds me of what Monopoly, and it's like that's like things in the 80s and stuff. And I think the cards in general doesn't look good at all. It's like I'm really like ticked off by the artwork, which is like the first thing that I'm telling myself I'm not spending $120 on this. So this is one of the thing that I'm not interested in. And then I mean maybe it's done because of retro, but also second thing is that they talk about Kickstarter exclusive. There is absolutely none at the start, and a lot of people raised up that, and then they actually said that, oh yeah, so why don't we give you some Kickstarter exclusive? And is these are like they are not even resin, they are like acrylic see-through kind of like I don't know, amber they call it, right? Amber miniatures. Don't look totally ugly. I don't really like this, not at all. I rather that cut $20 off this, and like don't give me this. And like I said, there's not really a lot of other stuff other than there's an exclusive art sleeve, which is actually I think a see-through kind of a sleeve over the box, where you can see some part of it. This thing, as if it's made of cardboard, is going to tear when you stack it with other games, and you can't always have this game right on the top. Judging from the length of this might not even fit in the Carlex. So I don't know. I do not really like this type of kind of sleeve box where there's a chance of getting it torn because I'm like trying to pull another game on top of it, place another game on top of it, and stuff like that. I mean, totally unnecessary, right? I mean, like I said, give me another $10 back, and I don't want a cut sleeve. Will you do that? Yeah. But apparently, I think they're quite set on the pricing, and I don't think you can change the pricing for Kickstarter. So the biggest problem is that 120 USD is going to be same in retail for 120 USD. In retail, likely you will get shipping with Amazon or Miniature Market or whatever that is. But so that's the thing, is it? And and you have to pay shipping for this Kickstarter. Usually the shipping is quite atrociously expensive. Although the shipping for this is like imagine this is like £7. It's really going to like cost arm and leg. So the miniatures is not fantastic. It looks pretty slightly below standard, if I were to say it. Some of the miniatures of other games looks a lot better than this. These are just like a mesh of green or something like that. Like I said, go for colorful acrylics. I rather prefer that. Yeah. Like I said, board looks ugly. Okay, so anyway, this is the one I'm not backing. Okay. If the prices drops significantly by a lot during retail, I might consider. But other than that, I have absolutely no interest right now. Of course, that's my opinion. Go ahead and back it if that's the thing that you think is for you. So the other one I want to talk about is Kingdom Rise and Fall Dorian. So let me hope this loads. Don't think I clicked it. Okay, it's loading. Okay, so this is a kind of you can see it's a fantasy theme. It hasn't like really raised a lot of money, but it has already passed its goal, about 182 people. So I can rest assure you that you probably won't see this on the second-hand market. And if so, you do, it's going to cost you a lot more. So there are some miniatures. The board is colorful, and you actually do see some pretty good components. It seems. Also, there's a lot of good. Okay, I mean Quackalope and Morgan Co is always there. So we have to see things like whether Dice Tower reviewed it. So there's a lot of reviews for it. So it looks like this is not bad. And the core pledge is actually quite cheap. It's at 49 US. I mean, not 49 euro, and that really gives you all the stretch goals. So I would say that this is a cheap buy. Of course, we always be FOMO about it. So we want the expansion, and maybe you want the miniatures. So that's really up to you. But this looks like it's okay, but there's already too many fantasy games for me. I'm not sure if this is another one. I have not even opened my Dungeon Universalis, so like I really need to look for an excuse to get this. Right now, it just looks beautiful to me. I'm currently not interested yet. Although in the end, if I compare this with Malhya, if there's any merits in this, maybe I might just drop that and press this instead, because the artworks of this still looks pretty good. Yeah, so maybe I should just add a reminder for me. Yep. So actually, I've been looking out for quite a few because especially when like when you run through some of the other videos by other people, other board games creators, you actually go by and then you actually see some games that you're actually interested. But of course, not all of them. Absolutely not all. Encyclopedia is one that I'm not interested in. Basically, this might be a bit like building up building an encyclopedia in this case, but it's pretty similar to probably like the one of the Darwin ones that just passed. Although Alex from Board Game Co really likes it, so you have actually all this. This is in the gen of like evolution and I don't know. There's quite a few of those games where you play with any different animals. I wouldn't even go as far as to compare this with Wingspan though, but you know, but the similarities in the cards have animals and stats on it. I mean, but that's just about all. I guess in terms of content and the gameplay wise, it's a very very different thing. Doesn't really caught my interest. Not even sure the price point, but it's okay because once you're safe that you're not interested, that's like that says something, and then you don't need to worry even about price point. Let's see if there's most of these are like arts, so I guess maybe because I've been like browsing a lot of art stuff. There's quite a few board games. This is a print and play. I'm not so interested into stuff that doesn't have physical component because one problem was that is that I still have to find my way to print it, and depends on the quality you print it, you might not actually end up with something satisfactory. So Casting Shadows is the next game that's from the creator of the Tidal, Unstable Unicorns and stuff. And this has actually raised 2.2 million. Fantastic, right? I mean, it's colorful, it's cute. Look at the meeples. Not meeples. I mean, look at the standees and the boards. This is actually more cute than the. I think the previous one, right? The dinosaurs, the one with the the silly dinosaurs and I can't remember the name. Is it Later Dinosaurs? I can't remember. But like End of the World and stuff. Anyway, I got that because eventually I found it in Amazon and I quite liked it. Here to Slay is good. So I hope this carry on the trend. But this one there's a problem. There's a lot of things you could buy. As you can scroll down more and more and more and realize that if you really want to spend a lot of money, well, there's a lot of place to spend a lot of money here on this campaign, and there's a lot of stuff that's entirely optional and entirely unnecessary. So if you look at the pledge, all the way to go, I think even this doesn't include everything. It's like the collector sets only includes certain things, and there's still more you could add. But well, I try to avoid usually their games, despite that it's actually pretty good. I've so far not regretted not getting any on Kickstarter because I still managed to get it in retail. I might be paying a bit more. I'm not sure, but when you have a sales, actually I don't think that's true. You might actually be paying less. Plus, you save on shipping. And we have another one here. Hamlet. This is going to end soon already, I think. 5 hours more. By the time you see this, it's probably too late. But anyway, I'm not interested in this because I've really way too many buildings to the city games. I have like I think Neon. I have My City. There's a legacy ones, and like basically also one of the other things that actually ticks me off is that I think all these little square and counters. I don't really like them. They are way too Europe-ish for me. I mean. Yeah, I like something a bit different, maybe like even cardboard tokens, of different shapes. It's actually a lot better than having just the cubes and everything. There's a lot of other games that actually might be interesting. Sentinel of the Multiverse, I don't even want to click on it because I've so far skipped most of it. So I heard it's a good game, but I also heard that the apps actually is pretty good. So why not just get an app and play with the apps? Yep. So that one I will skip. Let's talk about Tidal Blade 2. So I didn't have Tidal Blade 1, and I heard that it's totally unrelated. Other than this game is actually set in the same world. They have actually raised about so this is Singapore dollars. It's likely about 500,000, I guess. No, way 500,000 USD. And the artwork looks fantastic. If you can see here, a lot of bluish and everything. There's also a role-playing game which I'm not so interested in. But basically the characters look really nice, So this like I don't know what is actually names called, but I always call them is the dinosaur fish. It's like it's really cute aquarium animals that's really based on. This is a real animal, by the way. And look at the artwork; it's really fantastic. And then there's standees if you don't want the miniatures, which is actually a good choice. So that you do have the option of not getting the miniatures. And the maps is formed out of different part of books, which is what you see in the Jaws of the Lion, Gloomhaven. And I mean, overall, this looks quite intriguing to me. I'm marginally interested, but the only problem is that okay, the miniatures I'm probably not in because way too much miniatures. Although the miniatures looks pretty okay, just that I don't find that I will be able to use these miniatures anywhere else because they are all like marine creatures and stuff like that. Like marine crabs and stuff. So it's pretty unlikely I'll be able to repurpose this in any sense after playing through this game, and I'm not sure how long this game can actually hold for me. So in terms of price point, let's take a look. There's anything from the PDF is only for the RPG book itself, and the board game is actually USD 89. But there's some add-ons, and I think if you want some of the upgrades, including the miniatures, I think there's some upgrade packs. I'm not sure if this is the miniatures. This is the miniatures, I think. Yeah, so the miniatures will set you back about $160. So it's kind of on the high side, and I'm not too convinced whether I like it or not because I did get Tidal Blade 1, and I heard that Tidal Blade 1 actually is marginally good, but it's not really like fantastic. So that could be a problem. I remember there was another one that I want to talk about, which actually is quite hot right now. This one I remember the name. Let me just settle this one first before I go back to the game system stuff. So this is Okko. Oh damn. Yep. So here it is, Okko Chronicles: The Cycle of Earth. So this is this everything has it really is like things I like Japanese, ancient feudal Japan, like samurai, zombies, warriors, and I think this is what zombie wolves or something like that, demons and stuff. There's a zombie knight as well. So all this looks really fantastic. The artworks look fantastic. Okko has a very long history of producing quite fantastic games, which quite hard to find because they are very niche. Only certain people who has it, and people who has it doesn't want to let go of it. But the cards and everything all looks pretty good, and this is not even expensive at all, which actually is part of the problem why I'm not backing it. It might sound crazy, but let me explain. So going through all the materials, you can see that you're convinced this is a good game. Everything looks good, the presentation looks good. I think I want this game, and it's €85. Oh, that's good. €85 seems like perfectly fine, and you can even get some part of the Cycle of the Water, which is the previous campaign, some part of it. Although these two games are totally not compatible, but if you want to get hold of that as well, fully available. But the biggest problem is that for €85 kind of a game, which is a fantastic game for a fantastic price, for me living in Asia, I have a problem. The delivery is €45. That's effectively 50% of the cost of the game. So in terms of that, I think the shipping cost is the type of thing that actually really killed this for me, because there's no way I'm paying €45 for this when the game actually is only €85, because it doesn't make sense to me. So I think I will have to skip this. If there is, if Destiny sees it this way, that I find this, in retail or from someone else, I'll probably buy it. But other than that, it's just not going to happen for me. Yeah. And if I found the game I was talking about is this thing called the TEBURU system with Bad Karma. So as you can see, they are not really doing fantastically well. This kind of they just crossed their mark. It's kind of about 150, maybe $200,000. So, but this is the problem with this is that it's actually not just about a game. So they're having this game called Bad Karma, which actually comes in quite a few packs of the different type of heroes and everything. So you have different packs of this, as well as they're coming up with a game system, which there's some sort of a detection. I think you put on the miniatures or something like that, and onto this system tray, and then with this LED ring and stuff, and apparently you need to charge it also. I think that's another problem. I don't want to be playing in the middle of the game and run out of battery. That's number one problem. And as you can see, there's a lot of volume of this. So you'll probably have to pay quite a lot, you know, in order to get every single thing. And there's additional heroes packs and so on. So the biggest problem with this system is that there's an SDK for it, but currently this system is only running on this game called Bad Karma, which nobody has heard of. I heard they are going to convert this for Sword and Sorcery, which actually is a fantastic game. But I would imagine that you have to buy quite a lot of the whatever attachment to attach to the miniatures and to make it work. And I think that's going to like cost quite a lot, judging from it. So and this game, you know, comes in Volume 2 and Volume 3. So just bear that in mind that if you are just going for the base pledge for the game system, you're not even going to get a full game. You're just going to get the first volume of it. And because of this system, there's quite a few issues. You need the app. So you need the app in order to play. So most of the time, people will be looking at the app rather than the game board, you know, trying to shift everything. And you have to move the things on the game board as well. If you not, it's not detected in the app, and you know, it doesn't work well. And sometimes this could cause confusion, like, you know, forgot to move the miniature in the main board, or the app itself not you know. So in a way, it takes away some of the, you know, tabletop interaction. I mean, would this be more fun than playing, you know, Dota with a few of your friends together, or you know, like, yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say. Is like, if everybody's going to be looking at their, you know, handphone, I seriously don't think that's the main purpose of playing board game. Playing board games, I like to play with real people, and if I can't, at least the tabletop simulators is the closest that I have. But you know, if I have to like sit around opposite all my friends and I'm playing with my tablet, I mean, that's terrible. You know, it's like that's kind of like the most antisocial things you can do, and that's precisely the problem. And this looks well, I'm not going to comment. Yeah, I know this is the Pokemon color, but you know, it looks ugly to me. So I'm not really buying into the system, although the system seems to be good. It's something that's slightly different. They're trying to do something different for the industry. I'll probably still be encouraging this kind of technology to go through, you know, like help game board tracking or this, but maybe like if you can do more, like, you know, to track, help you track all the, there's actually a lot of apps that helps, you know, games that tracks, like, you know, your stats, your hit points and stuff like that. And that's really well done with a lot of free apps. So let's look at the pledge here. I know if we are looking at the core, that only include volume 1. That's already like 170 euro. And if you're going to take all 3 volumes, that's easily 290 euros. I don't know if there's any more add-ons you need to get. Maybe, yeah, maybe some of the heroes pack you have to buy. So this is quite an expensive one, and for that reason, I'm staying away from it. Maybe when it comes to version 2, version 3 of the system, and there are more games that jump on board, I hope so. And I also have heard from other channels that they did try to approach Simon to do Zombicide, but Simon has probably turned them down. So if Simon don't think it works, probably I don't. I mean, like, you know, Simon say something about it. So this is almost there. I'm going to just talk about one last game. I'm not sure if I could find it easily. So this is the last game I'm going to talk about, and likely this is going to be the only time I mention it, judging from the way it's looking at. It's only like about 20,000 USD now, maybe slightly over, but it has a ambitious goal of almost like, you know, 80 to 100,000, I guess. So I think, yeah, it's 100,000, I guess. So the problem with this is this is published from Green Bear's game, which actually there's nothing wrong with it. I fully support this game company. They have did Folklore the Affliction. It's a fantastic game. They published it, and although there may be some hiccups, but you know, they did some replacement and everything for everybody. So yeah, I think this is something that like not every you know, game company will do, and it's fantastic what they did. So I have really nothing against this game company. In fact, I'm quite supportive of the game. I in fact got another one of theirs. I think it's something to do with some, I can't remember the name. Something about in the shadows or something like that. So when they have another new game, I was quite you know, interested, and I came to take a look at this. Unfortunately, this is the game. Well, I don't know what you think, but for me, this white thing is distasteful. I think the amount of components here I could probably like count, and it's like less than 50. I don't know. There's this tower looking thing. The only good point is that I think it's 1 to 4 players, so solo is supported. Like I say, I always be very into solo. And the basically the artwork, I maybe this is draft, but the artworks, the cards, there's a lot of squariness to it. Look at all the squares. They're not rounded, and I think the artworks looks very computer gameish, like like 16-bit, 32-bit kind of like Dragon Quest and stuff like that. So it's like it's not fantastic, but then the character looks are cartoonish as well. So if you like that, maybe so. But in general, the colors is there's a lot of white areas. I don't really like this. I think this means that the card looks too plain to me. And I think there's not a lot of components. They are like listing every single component they have already. So this is already all that they have. And look at the price point. The price point is that's for retailers. The price point is about 100 USD. That's 99 here. That's not even the premium. I think the premium probably include the miniatures if I'm not wrong. So I'm not sure, but it's like it's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. So we can go all the way to. Oh, this comes with the expansion. In fact, there's some expansion. You can really like damage you for 270 USD, which is like way too expensive. And look at all the miniatures. There are some miniatures, but there's a lot of repeats. If I can tell, these are repeats. Although they are on the opposite ends. These are repeats. These are repeats, and there's not many designs. In fact, counting on here, there's probably less than 15 or 20 designs here. So that's the only problem. And most of their games are available at retail. I think just go for retail. Don't. My advice is if you like this game, wait for the retail version. Unless there's something that you must get here and it's only available here, which so far I don't think has been the truth for Green Bear's game. They actually had a lot of things that were available. You may pay a little bit more, but they are available. Sorry to say that actually I just remember there's another game that I want to talk about, and I should actually open all the tabs. So this is like one last game that I want to talk about. Okay, so this is the last one. I promise you, no more. So for this week, this is the last one. Okay, so this Terraforming Mars. Terraforming Mars, oh sorry, this is not Terraforming Mars. They did not want to associate this with Terraforming Mars anymore. It's just called Ares Expedition. So there is actually a game called Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, which is actually not a lighter version of it, more accessible, and I think in general can bring more players to play Terraforming Mars. But Terraforming Mars is a very very heavy game on its own. So this is like a lighter version, but not any less enjoyable. Maybe arguably more enjoyable. So this is the 3 expansions that's for Terraform. Okay, I would use the word Terraforming Mars if they're not using it anymore. So it's just for Ares Expedition, and it's basically the Discovery, Foundation, and Crisis. Discovery and Foundation, I think Foundation adds some sort of like architecture or something like that. Discovery, there's like more cards, more power. Crisis is actually kind of like the co-op version, and where you have to handle things that the game keep throwing at you, and like you have to solve them in order to keep moving forward, and basically Crisis. So the problem I want to talk about this is that so far I'm not backing it because I actually managed to get the collector's edition of Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition on Amazon, and I paid a lot less than what people has paid for in Kickstarter with free shipping. So that also happens actually in Target for the Ares Expedition when it first launched, and people are very very upset about it. In fact, I think Target got the stock much earlier than the Kickstarter backers. So people were saying that why are they paying more? They are paying for shipping and they're getting even later. So this time they promised that it will not be available on Target. Well, but they didn't say it will not be available on Amazon, Miniature Market, and other places. Yep. So I never know. So I do know that they are going to have it released in retail. One thing you will not get is that you will not get the box to store all these 3 together, which I'm not sure if you really want it. I mean, as long as I can store everything, I don't really care. And it's like all in one box if I can. But other than that, I don't see there's anything else that you need to get here. You might as well wait for the retail. And if I'm not wrong, they said that in the retail, all these 3 expansion might not even be forced to be purchased together. You can purchase them separately. So in fact, I'll be more than happy to just get Crisis, because that's the only thing that I think is more important than the other two. The other two just added some stuff, but it's not game changing for this game. And don't get me wrong, the game is perfectly good, and I fully support it. But the only problem is that look at the shipping is like 25 USD for Asia. That's almost like I don't know, maybe half the game. Yeah, so that's almost like half the game. Another game is only 50 USD. Another one of those that if shipping costs half, 50% of the game that I'm paying for, I'm not buying. So I'm waiting for retail for this. Do check it out. I mean, no harm knowing a bit more, knowing if whether this is for you. And if you're still interested in getting the Ares Expedition Collector Edition, it's always available, still available, I think, on Amazon. I think it's still on discount. Yep. I'll put a link there, just in case anybody wants to get it. But other than that, thanks for watching. You can like this video. I'll be very grateful. Do follow if you want to hear more of me talking about other Kickstarter and stuff. I also will talk a little bit more about games as well. But well, thank you, and have a good day, and I'll see you again soon.